Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Aspire Design Tour presented by Aspire Design and Home and SapienStone. I am Deb Martin, Aspire Managing Editor, and I will be your moderator today. Our panel of experts is going to share what they are seeing in the industry when it comes to the wide world of porcelain surfaces. They will show us some recent projects and talk about their experience working with the material that SapienStone specializes in, and that is porcelain. We will be taking questions, so please use the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen. You can type in your question at any time, and we will try to work them in during our discussion, or if we need to, hold them until we're finished. Let me introduce our panel. We're so glad that all of you are here today with us. Joy Klein is the VP of Sales and Marketing for SapienStone. She has been with the parent company for 20 years, and she took over the SapienStone brand at the beginning of this year, just before the pandemic. Eric Torsch is the owner of Faithful Countertops, a large-scale fabrication company that does precision, high-end stone fabrication in the tri-state area. Lori Hayfoot is a Santa Monica-based interior designer who launched her own firm, Hayfoot Design, in 2002. In 2018, she was awarded top honors by the NKBA Southern California for one of her kitchen designs, and she was also selected as the NKBA Innovator of the Year. Natalie Bourne-Lamont of TVS Design Atlanta is a commercial designer with 10 years of experience focusing on sporting venues, food service, retail, and other mixed-use projects. And now I'm going to turn it over to Joy, who's going to tell us all about SapienStone. Take it away, Joy.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for participating and being with us here today. And thanks to Aspire for hosting this for us and organizing it, and to our expert panelists for being here to talk about this topic that's dear to my heart. I'm excited to take on the SapienStone brand and take it to the next level. To give you a little bit of background on SapienStone, SapienStone is owned by the Iris Ceramica Group, and Iris is a global leader in the production of innovative, high-quality porcelain and high-tech ceramics. They were actually the innovators of large format porcelains back in the early 60s and brought that technology to the US. We are going to be celebrating our 60th anniversary next year, so have a lot of experience in producing these products. We've got 7 collection brands for floor, wall, and porcelain slabs that we represent here in the US. 6 factories, company-owned factories, 2 in Italy, 1 in Germany, and 1 right here in the US. So next slide, please. So what is SapienStone? Sapien is a sintered material. It's made with porcelain tile technology. It's made up of a proprietary blend that we have, a recipe that only we know, of natural minerals, all natural minerals, including feldspar, quartz, and clays, and minerals that create color. And these products end up being chemically stable, frost-proof, UV stable because it is all natural minerals, no dyes or polymers are used, and of course the hand-selected raw minerals that are inside give a very high quality product that's easier to fabricate, install, and maintain. SapienStone is all made in Italy right now, but it is stocked heavily here in the US. We have distributor partners from Arizona, California, Texas, New Jersey, North Carolina, Ohio, Florida, and Tennessee that have our material because we want to, of course, have these slabs close to our customers. The porcelain slab size that we are producing is 129 by 60 inches by 12 millimeters or ½ inch thick. SapienStone was born out of a need. We were making 1/4 inch thick or 6 millimeter porcelain slabs and had so many of our clients wanting to use it for countertops. And you know, there was challenges with just only a 1/4 inch thick material. You couldn't just leave the edge. There wasn't enough material to bond as well. We had a lot of great experience, but then our R&D team decided, let's launch this 12 millimeter so that designers and architects can utilize this product to its full potential and provide a perfect countertop that has low porosity, all the benefits of porcelain. So this image you see here is a project we're very proud of. It was seen on HGTV, Property Brothers Celebrity IOU with Brad Pitt, so it's not a bad episode to watch. He basically wanted to help his makeup artist that he's known for many, many years with her guest house. And this was a multifunctional space that the Property Brothers decided she's going to be doing makeup on the kitchen counter island. Let's pick a product that we're not going to have to worry about sealing and maintaining and coming in contact with different types of residues. And they also used the same product in the bathroom vanity. If you do get to see it, they did a chunkier vanity that looks really, really nice, a 6-inch apron. And both spaces utilized the Calicut Statuario, which is available in a book match, really replicating what Mother Nature does in about an hour, over millions and millions of years, and of course in a very strong state. And the other benefit of porcelain and our product in general is the weight of the material. It's 5.75 pounds per square foot, which each slab is only about 300 pounds, unlike a marble or granite or other countertop surface that can weigh up to 600 pounds and make it more difficult for installation. And you can achieve a beautiful edge by doing a miter, which we're going to talk about that a little bit more moving forward. Next slide, please. So in porcelain slabs, we're really finding the classic marble looks and the exotic looking marbles really have become increasingly popular, especially in spaces where in the past, a marble really wouldn't have held up very well. And the technology has come so far. I mean, I've seen it just in my 20 years of being in this industry, it's so high def. And our technology, our resolution is 400 DPI or dots per inch. So it really gives you that realistic look. And of course, all the other benefits of porcelain. Next slide. So wood looks, we're seeing, normally I've had designers really want to use wood for a vanity or a kitchen countertop. And I mean, we see butcher block for islands, but again, you're going to have to maintain it. You're going to have to refinish it. And now you have a product that gives you no limitations, and the finish on this material is very natural, similar to natural wood, and that's what we try to do. So we have finishes that replicate what we're replicating. So our woods come in natural finish, and our concretes, which is the next slide. We're seeing a lot of interest in concrete because, once again, concrete weighs about 18 pounds per foot. So I'll never forget Bonefish coming to me, super excited about the potential of using our countertops because of its lightweight ability and ease of install. What I love about these two applications is they're both only the 12 millimeter. So our products have through body pigmentation. So therefore the fabricator can just do a 1/8 round over edge and you're good to go. And it really provides that through body feel, and you're not having to worry about seeing any sort of difference between the material on the inside. And of course, a much lighter option and really a transitional minimalistic look. The one on the right, I like to comment how this particular application, the island is a marble, more elegant look, and we're seeing a lot of designers lately use marbles and woods together, stone and woods together, and they use the concrete on the back, which I actually think looks like a soapstone. So some of our concretes have that soapstone look, and again, much easier to maintain over time. Next slide. These are our stone looks. Again, being able to give the designer an option with the gorgeous veining, which usually the veins are the weakest point of a stone. And these are our two newest colors. The one on the left is our palladium gray, and the one on the right is our black diamond. Both we only decided to offer in a natural finish. So again, we're always trying to kind of emulate the stone that we're emulating. And designers can either use a nice soft color or a more bold statement, and add a lush element to their projects. Next slide, please. Furniture trends. So you can take this material, of course, because I mentioned earlier it's UV stable. You can use it interior or exterior, create furniture pieces that are one of a kind for even case good tops as well, giving designers an option for a product that will last truly a lifetime. Next slide. So our material is heat resistant, and that's another really great benefit. You can take a pot straight from the cooktop or straight from the oven and put it on our material, and it's thermal shock resistant. So you can go from cold to hot. What's been really kind of a new and exciting technology is induction cooking. And we're finding more and more of our customers asking us, how can we do this? How do you do it? And there's companies here in the US that we've partnered with. InvisiCook is one of them, where it's an undermount and you can cook right on top, and designers can design a space that's multifunctional and where you can prepare delicious meals at home or professionally right on top of the same space that you can entertain later on. And this is something that I want to mention you can't do with quartz. So if you're familiar with quartz, that's one of the disadvantages, and also going outside with quartz as well, it is not UV stable. So kind of giving a little plug on why porcelain. And next, not only can you use this for residential application, but of course commercial. There's companies that have chilling stations and warming stations. And here is United Polaris Lounge, where we supplied our uni ice on the right for the buffet and our Pietra Gray on the left, really giving a stylish, functional space that is easy to clean and maintain as well. You can use disinfectants, and it will not break down the material. And of course, right now, that's very important to all of us. So wonderful that we've got this innovative option now. Next slide, please. So in order to service our customers, we have our distributor partners, as I mentioned, which if you go on our website, we do have a distributor. It's at SapienStone.us, and you can see our distributor near you. And we also have partnered with kitchen and bath showrooms across the US to bring an actual display to you. Many have islands, kitchenettes, vignettes, bathroom vanities. So you can find our product and just reach out to us, and we'll find the closest showroom to you. The other really important aspect of porcelain is the fabrication side. We've always taken the strategy from day one, make sure we have fabricators understanding how to work with this product, what tools they need. And it is an investment up front if they haven't done it yet, but if you've got the right blade, you can really achieve the same results as you do with quartz and other products. So our strategy was always to making sure that everyone understands how to work with our product. We happen to have one of our master craftsmen with us today. Eric at Faithful Countertops is based in New Jersey, and he's going to tell you about the trends that he's seeing from his side of the business. Next.
Yeah, thank you, Joy, for the introduction. I want to thank everybody, and I want to thank Aspire Magazine and the SAPIenStone for the invitation. It's been it's a pleasure to be with you guys. So yes, I want to tell a little bit about myself, what we do, and how we started, and go through the process of fabrication and dealing with the porcelain, and SapienStone and how we deal with the customers and what we do, what we recommend, what we don't recommend. So, I started business about 10 years ago, starting with my brother. It was, me and him doing installations and fabrications, and then start growing the company. Right now, we over 70 people, over 70 employees. We do multi-family business with units. So we do a lot of kitchen doors and the architects, designer business. So when we start, when we get introduced to porcelain, it was about 6 years ago. We saw the product. We kind of love it, but when we start cutting it, then it just was failing. We didn't know what we were doing. We were testing stuff. We were breaking. We started with a quarter inch material. It was a disaster. Really, that was the thing. When we got introduced to SapienStone and the half inch, we were like, no, we don't want to go for it. We don't like the product. We just don't want to do it. But then, eventually we changed our mind. We start using the product more and more, and we start learning how to cut, how to glue the miters, how to do to just the normal jobs in the beginning. And then once we learn everything, we start actually testing the product, and we start using in different applications, building sinks out of it, the integrated sinks out of it, using the different glues, using different techniques. So we actually end up testing everything. At the end of the day, we receive our rewards out of it. We're one of the busiest shop of SapienStone, probably, I would say, even in the country. We have a lot of customers calling us every day asking for questions. We're very well known on Instagram. We post our pictures on Instagrams. We tell people what we do. So I would say so that's kind of like our background about what we do and how we do. So I want to talk a little bit about fabrication. I know there's a lot of but I would say bad opinion about the porcelain. There's a lot of fabricators that they try it and they didn't work out, and because they didn't know what they're doing, they didn't have the right tools to use. They didn't have the training that they need to understand what's the porcelain. Not every porcelain is the same, I can tell you that. One of the best is SapienStone. We cut different brands of porcelain, and everyone is different. The porcelain it's not just a porcelain. There's different different techniques that needs to be cut, needs to be used to cut a porcelain. There's also different machines that you have to have. There's investment, but there's also rewards after that. So we, as a company, we said, we have to separate ourselves from the competition and kind of go a different road and try to build our new company based on the porcelain. And so we start investing in the machines. We start investing in the training of our people. We start putting in a lot of money, to technology. So that helps us to obviously to work with the product. As far as the application where it can be used, this product can be used everywhere. There is no limits on the product. This product could be used outside, inside, fireplaces, building hoods, building kitchens. You can build the sinks out of the product. You can build the integrated sinks out of the product. It's really for furniture, for everything. And I think the biggest problem that we face, maybe not now, but we faced in the beginning was, a lot of people says, oh, it's chipped, it's not comfortable to use. And, we get this bad opinion from the other fabricators and the customers. So we have to face that. We will tell people, you don't have to worry about it. It's the same product as everything else. It chips like everything else. Really, if you put an impact on the porcelain and any quartz or marble or granite, you're gonna have the same issue. You're gonna have the same chip. You're gonna have the same problem. So you have to be careful with everything that you do. I compare the countertop to the car. If you take care of countertops, if you clean it and do everything that needs to be done, it's gonna look brand new every single day. It's gonna shine every single morning that you wake up. That's how it works. So as far as the trends that we see, we see a lot of requests for fireplaces. You can go on our Instagram. You can see, we've done a couple of them. They're beautiful. Customer loves it because of the look. You don't have to go with the marble. You don't have to go with the granite or quartz. you just go with the porcelain that it's easy to install. It's very, clean, and have a very unique designs. And SapienStone has beautiful designs. I can tell you this. I love it. A lot of customers love this, and we have designers, and with us together, they can tell a little bit about it, and and why they're using the SapienStone for their projects. And also, yeah, I think if there's any fabricator today, I think don't be scared to use the product. You have to, if it breaks one or two times, you just have to call us or call the SapienStone. They have a very great technician that can walk you through, tell you what you do wrong, or why it's not working, and then we'll tell you exactly what needs to be done. If not, we also available. Give us a call, send us an email. We also help you out, to understand what the product is and how to work with it. So I think I want to also say that same thing with the with our customers. Customers, the homeowners. Don't be scared to use the product. You can see actually the great picture of it. We just done this project. We finished probably about like a month ago. We built the this whole vanity with the wrap doors and everything. Everything is covered with 45 miners, so everything is connected as a one solid piece of furniture.
We're seeing a lot of floating trends and floating vanities lately, for sure.
This is something that, we got a lot of requests from, we post the picture on Instagram, and I don't know, I think like 20 customers just call us and says, we love it, we want to do something like that. So we actually able. So we also, what's good about it is we partner with other manufacturers. We partner with the metal manufacturer that builds the custom sinks for us. We also partner with the millwork companies that they do bases like this for us, so we can offer to the customers. So don't be scared. This is a lot of opportunities for us. Obviously, as a fabricator, we grow the business, and we just don't want to be just associated with just the countertops. I think this is the model that people have. Especially the fabricators, that you just they just associate them to the countertops, and they don't do anything else. Besides the countertops, there's probably another 80% of the other businesses that you can gain and you can do. And porcelain is definitely one of them that that brings a lot of potentials and value to the business. Yeah, I think, if everybody has any questions, feel free to ask me, but I will just hand to Lori.
Well, I'm going to make a quick statement on the outdoor kitchens. Eric, we're seeing so much more, people wanting an outdoor space. And of course, that's a perfect application. This project that you did, in New Jersey, where of course, you've got frost, you've got issues, and this is a perfect spot for Sapien. And then the next slide goes over the different edge profiles that you can do, which is amazing. The options that designers have with the product, and again,
there's no limitation with the product. A lot of people think, I can only do east edge, I can only do build up. No, you don't have to. You can do different edges. You can do reverse bevels. You can do normal bevels. You can do round edges. You can. There's unlimited options that you can do with a porcelain.
And as I mentioned earlier, the next slide shows an up close of that one kitchen that I talked about, the soapstone. And you can see here how we layer that vein into the body of the material, so that gives the designer the ability to just use the raw slab. I think it's called like flat slab. I'm learning new terms every day in this business, but and it still looks very rich, and gives you that kind of modern transitional look like I showed you earlier. And we're one of the only manufacturers that does this. You'll find many of the others just have a solid body, and doesn't give you this option. And now I think, anything else, Eric?
I said this is another trend that we see, that people don't like. People just like the half inch, simple edge, and with the SapienStone, actually, you have body colors that you can, that's not, you don't see only just a little, wide line. You see actually, veining going through. So that's a beautiful thing to have that in porcelain.
Perfect. Thanks, Eric. So next we have Lori, who's going to talk about some trends in residential design. This is a beautiful project she worked on in the Hollywood Hills, California. I'll let her tell you about.
Hi, thank you. Yeah, this actually was the very first project that I worked with SapienStone on. I'm fairly new to SapienStone, and I'm finding that I'm loving it, and I'm recommending it to every single client, mostly because of the aesthetics, to be honest with you. It's just all the veining and all of the products are so beautiful. And in this kitchen, you can see, well, you can kind of see in this picture, but if you stand all the way back and you look at the hood wall, the veining goes straight across the whole back wall, like through the backsplash, through the hood, back to the backsplash, and around, which is such a beautiful detail. And the idea was that this was a very dark brown, old kitchen, and we just wanted to brighten it up and lighten it up, and we just didn't want to cram cabinets everywhere, and we just wanted that hood to sort of go away. We wanted it to sort of blend in, and just we didn't want it to be an eye catcher. So really the stone creates that beautiful sort of monolithic, simple, serene feel. I was really impressed with the fabricators. I was impressed with the way they were able to get this, the veining to continue all the way through. But again, it was my very first experience with it, and I had a great experience. The wood countertop at the seating area, honestly, I don't think the wood looking SapienStone was out when I did this. I think maybe a few months later it came out, but I did see it in person installed at the factory in Italy. It's beautiful, and I wish I was able to use that here. I mean, this wood's beautiful as well, but for durability reasons, I mean, this material is completely, I mean, you just can't destroy it. It's amazing. So those are the two things that are the most important for me as a designer, is obviously aesthetics. If it's beautiful, if it's not beautiful, I'm not going to even show anyone. And then durability, because I don't really want any callbacks. Like, if I can have this minimum amount of callbacks as possible, that just makes, makes everybody's lives easier and makes happier clients at the end of the day. And, everybody wants the look of marble, but they don't want to deal with the maintenance of it. So this is obviously the perfect solution. I do a lot of outdoor projects. Oh yeah, there's the hood. So you can kind of see the veining even coming through the bottom of the edge of the hood. And I'm not sure, the microwave picture, I guess, is we're just trying to hide all the appliances so that door opens and closes so you don't see any microwave. But that doesn't have anything to do with the stone. But I'm using this stone, SapienStone, like I said, on every project now. I'm at least recommending it to every client. I'm working on an outdoor buffet. It's a huge buffet where we're actually doing the induction cooktop into the stone, so you don't see any cooking element. And we're also doing a chilling element in the stone. So like you said, I think you used the term thermal shock resistant. And that's, yeah, and so I had to write that down because I hadn't really used that term before. But, and that's why we're using this material for this buffet. So when you look at it, it's going to look like a big monolithic cube of stone. It's going to be all mitered edges, and it's just going to look monolithic. And then, miraculously, they'll put their salads out on the chilled top. She's going to have, a lot of times she has ice sculptures that she'll have on another chilled top in another area in the hors d'oeuvre section. And then, she'll have the heated sections for all of her meat. We're going to have a carving station and a teppanyaki table. So I'm really excited to use SapienStone on that outdoor product or project.
Lori, can I interrupt for a second? I have a question that's actually perfect for what you're talking about right now, which is from Eugenia, who asks, how do you mark the area for the induction cooktop?
I don't think you have to mark it, do you? I mean, I'm not sure you have to mark the area. Do you have to mark it on the stone top? I'm not sure. We haven't quite.
Not that I'm aware of. Yeah. And, Natalie, if you know more, I just actually was texting to get a, good answer on that. I know that, we've even talked about doing charging stations where you can charge your phone sitting on top of, and they'll put the little lightning bolt so that you know where to put your phone. And that's going to be obviously the wave of the future too.
Yeah, and
I've seen it.
I can elaborate that on a little bit more. You do not have to mark the under counter. Usually on the back side, you have the knobs. So on the food service side, they'll be able to distinguish where that element is, but you do not have to mark it at all. And that's the beauty of it, is to be able to have this simple surface where nothing's interrupting it and not having to have all these different cuts in the surface.
Yeah, I've seen it where it's etched. You know, I've seen it in your cucina where they've etched it. But the fact that you don't have to do that is why, I mean, one of the reasons we're hoping we don't have to do anything like that, because we really don't want to give any inkling or any hint that it's anything but a monolithic cube of stone when it's not in use.
Yep.
But Eugenia, I'll definitely get back with you on, you know, a more solid answer. I know I've seen that they've etched and there's a little light to know that it's on, but you don't have to do that. And, you know, once I get a more solid answer, I can email out to you.
I want to say that we actually have done it, and we actually routed little circles where the cooktop's gonna be when the burner is actually on the cooktop. So we actually done this on SapienStone. So what's good about it, that the SapienStone it's a through body material, kind of through body material, and the body of it perfectly matched with the surface. So when you do that, you actually see little. If you know, we usually recommend do not use polished material for those surfaces. We stay with the slate material. So
natural finish.
Natural finish. So actually, when we able to do on the CNC the circles where the burners are, and you can't see them, you can feel them a little bit. So that's how the customer can kind of locate it where the burners are. If they have 4 or 5 6 burners, that's it's
they can etch the burner in, and I just got a good answer from InvisiCook. He also said that there's a built-in beeping detection device as well, and he said some just mark an X actually in the middle as well, which is done with etching that the fabricator does. So again, it's very subtle. It's not anything that but it gives you that center point of your heating element. So that's a way that you can do that X marks the spot, or maybe like Eric said, you can do something even more elaborate and etch a circle, or another way of showing that that's where the cooktop heating element is, or chilling element.
Yeah, I like the idea of just a little X, because then it doesn't look like a burner.
Correct. Right.
Subtle. Yeah, it's subtle. So there's a possibility we may do that. We haven't gotten to that point yet. We're still working on the specific technical details. Yeah. But so for me, what I love about SapienStone is the aesthetics, the maintenance, the fact that it's UV stable for outdoor, the thickness I love. I mean, the fact that we can just do the 1/2 inch thick. Also the weight of it, like you said earlier, having it lightweight is very helpful. I have these cantilevered shelves that are pulled off the back wall here in my house that I'm going to slide like a sleeve of stone on, and I don't think we could do that with heavy marble. So that also is something that's really important to me as a designer. But as far as like future trends, I think aesthetically, I think the black stone with the heavy white veining, I think you have one, I don't know if I can pronounce it right. What color is it?
The dark Marquina.
Yes, that one. Is that new? That's really beautiful.
It's one we've had for quite some time. We did recently post on our Instagram the Fable and Spirit restaurant in California that used it for their bar, and it is striking.
So beautiful. Yeah.
And
I think that's definitely a trend.
Yes, I'm seeing more and more requests for dark, for black, so that's definitely, and also seeing more and more for the natural finish. And we have a silky finish as well, which is like a high honed, so it's in between natural and polished. And a lot of designers don't want to see that high polish now, because they'll have it on the cabinets. Mm-hmm. So they want to see a contrasting finish.
Right.
So it's exciting to have evolving finishes now that weren't even available a few years ago.
Yeah, I think aesthetically, design-wise, there's a lot of mixing of materials, the multi-textural feel, like you're saying, having a little bit of like honed or textured, countertop with the high gloss cabinets, with some type of metal elements. That's definitely a trend that's happening right now.
I can kind of add, if I can add on to that, we're actually working on an international project where we were wanting to do a polished stone on the floor to emulate the real thing. And just because of your DCOF, we could not use it. So what we started to do was mix the finishes. So doing a honed with a polished to kind of get that texture change and give more depth in the flooring. So, to be able to have all those additional finish options has really been a game changer for us recently.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So next we'll lead into Natalie, who's going to talk about a project that we did a few years back, but we're still very proud of. And we're proud of then. I know we won some awards on this one too.
Yeah, we did. We won a tile award on this project for the Italian, I can't remember, I'll have to look it up. But what you're seeing here, this is Mercedes-Benz Stadium here in Atlanta, Georgia, the home of the Atlanta Falcons. This project was completed about 3 years ago. It was a 5-year project, so we started in 2011. It was 39 months of construction. TVS Design actually had scope in majority of this building, but today we'll just focus on the premium spaces. These are my babies. So what you're seeing here is we worked on all of the clubs. There's 7 clubs within the space, and they are sprinkled throughout all the levels of the stadium. And we did all of the suites. There's 190 suites within. And we worked with SapienStone on all these countertops and worked with Levy because they needed to have the induction warmers that were integrated into all the countertops. And they also had the cooling elements, or as you said, the thermal shock resistance. So we originally were looking at quartz, and we ended up testing all of our quartz, and they all failed with the induction warmers. And so SapienStone came into our world, and we were really excited about it because we've all been, this is the gauge tile really was kind of starting to make its presence into the architectural design world. And so we were excited to use it. So what we did is, if you look on the left-hand side of the picture, this is the AMG Lounge. So this is Mercedes-Benz Club, but you can see that this curved element here houses a bunch of induction warmers and the cooling elements. And you cannot see it. We did not have to mark them at all within the space, as the chefs and the Levy behind it would be controlling all of those elements. But again, the beauty of this is that we had a curved surface. So to be able to use this large gauge tile and be able to do a curved surface was really exciting for us. And what you don't see on the left-hand side of this counter is that you have about a 5-foot return where water falls down to the floor. So you've got a huge span of this waterfall edge with this Sapien tile. The biggest thing with the spaces in these types of facilities is durability. I mean, these spaces are getting beat to death. So we really, to be able to have a product that's going to that is going to stand the test of time, and the scratch resistance, and like Joy actually told me the other day, is that if there is a scratch, you can actually buff it out on this product, which is pretty incredible.
For the polished finish too, Natalie,
yeah.
It's just, which is what you used. But.
Yeah, we used all polished in all of these areas. And when we first started, there really wasn't a lot of options. So just to see what's emerged over the last 8 years and the technology that they have, which I think you said they were printing at 400 DPI, and just to see that, the vein, it just looks real. So, and the cost impact is dramatic in saving money and going with real stone or quartz. So we were really excited to be introduced to this product and be able to work with SapienStone, and the fact that we were able to integrate these warmers and cooling elements without making the counter look completely messy and have all these cut lines in it was really, really what we wanted to achieve with this.
I wanted to mention, Natalie, too, how, we use the 6mm
Yes.
on the edge to create that radius. And so the 12mm is on the top, and then the 6mm can actually be curved. The 12mm, we don't get much flex out of that at all. So that's how we were able to do that. Sometimes you can cut the material down to create that, but for that particular space, that's how we achieve that. And also we did produce a custom color for this project, which we can do. And I wanted everybody to realize that as long as it's usually 200 slabs is our sweet spot for custom production. And now we are even able to do that in a 2 cm size. So for larger projects where you want to use a Sapien color, we can create a 2 cm, and a lot of our 6mm porcelains can be created into SapienStone. If you find something that you like that's not currently SapienStone, we can actually do that if the project is large enough.
Yeah, that's great.
Natalie, we have a question from Amy, who asks, you mentioned flooring, and
Yes.
she's asking if the flooring use of this product accessible for people who are elderly, wheelchair bound, etc., would it meet ADA guidelines?
Yeah, so it just depends on the finish. You would have to use a honed or a natural finish if you're using this product on the floor, and 12mm thickness is what we recommend, just to eliminate any cracking on the floor. But yes, it is accessible.
Okay, great.
Mm-hmm. So what you're seeing here, and if you can go back one more slide, I'd like to just talk a little bit to the left hand. Go forward, please. So what you're seeing here is the Gullwing Club. This is actually Arthur Blank's personal club. His suite is in this, which Arthur Blank is the owner of the Atlanta Falcons, if anybody didn't know that. But you can see the SapienStone. We have waterfall edge here on the left-hand side, and we did this in a solid black finish because Arthur wanted to use a lot of natural stone. We've got stone on the walls that are actually to the right of us. You can't see it in this photograph. But we just didn't want to fight with the natural stone that he insisted on using, but just to be able to miter that edge and waterfall it down to the ground. It just has a really clean profile. And again, these all have the induction warmers integrated underneath. And then on the right-hand side, you're seeing the Mercedes-Benz suite. So this is a 22-person suite. And again, we're using that same SapienStone in the solid black on the back wall where you're seeing the Mercedes-Benz logo. And I think the biggest thing for us in using this large format product is durability, the cost, easy maintenance. And that's really kind of what our clients are looking for in the end game for a lot of these commercial projects is what's going to stand the test of time, what's easy maintenance. And again, like I said, being able to scratch out or buff out anything is really what our clients are looking for. And again, I think a big thing with fabrication, I know we've talked a lot about fabrication and in the commercial side and specifications. I think it's really knowing the product and knowing the faces of the product and how to use it and how to book match it, how to slip match, and just making sure that you're being super thorough in that. And I think I can't stress that enough because we draw every panel, the veining, how we book match it, what panel it is, and just understanding the factory. And recently we had a factory we were working with that they had the panel types, but they didn't have, but when they shipped it out and for the installer, when they were purchasing it, it all had different faces in it where we're trying to design those certain faces and where they're laid. So I think that's kind of a big thing to understand too with using the large gauge tile and, when you start to kind of think about it. Something that we've always kind of run into and what type of grout and the joints that you can use and all of that.
And it's great that you can specify and say, this is what we want. We want these faces and this is how, because normally in a natural product, you can't do that. You get what, you can once you see the slab and the fabricator can help there for sure.
Yeah. And I think trends, just to, piggyback from Lori, everything she's saying is exactly kind of what we're seeing and the blacks with the really dramatic veining, creating that wow art piece is, that's what we're looking for. And again, the precious stones that kind of iridescent, just really, beautiful look. We're seeing a lot of those, and just the veining with color. Been seeing a lot with color too, which has been really, really exciting.
It's great.
Yeah.
I have a few questions here that I'm going to throw out, and anybody who wants to can answer them. But the first one is from Richard, and he says, the idea of using porcelain for shower walls is fantastic. However, my clients tend to shy away because of the cost. What aspects of fabrication and install drive up the cost, and are there any great ways to reduce the cost? And maybe we can talk a little bit about the cost relative to natural to granite to other options that are out there. Joy, I don't know if you want to take that.
Yeah,
or
I will, and then maybe I can have Eric comment too. But basically, you know, a lot of people think porcelain, and you know, when you're looking at the cost factor, and a 12 by 24 porcelain, it's just like baking a cake. I mean, it's a lot more difficult to bake a 5 by 10 foot sheet of porcelain versus, you know, a 12 by 24 piece. So, you know, the cost does go up. So if you're not comparing it to a standard 12 by 24, which of course we have and can offer too, you know, when you're comparing it to stone, you're going to end up saving. But if you're comparing it to a 12 by 24 or a ceramic wall tile, I mean, you're going to be in two different ballparks. It's, you know, not comparing apples to apples. But one benefit is in every SapienStone color, except for the noir, which the noir is a solid black. So I kind of do have a solid black I can offer. It's just not the same exact. And they're all produced at different times too. But we do have a 6mm version. So you can use that in shower walls. I just did a general contractor friend of ours, because we do Marriott. He did a lot of Marriotts with us, and he just did his whole house with our statuario. And, you know, he had every option on the planet. And, you know, I was very proud that he picked ours. And, you know, it was 6mm. So you don't have to use the 12mm. It's really up to your installer, their comfort level. Some like that thicker material to do the plumbing, cutouts and things of that nature. But you can save if you use 6mm. The cost is less. So I don't know if there's anything else, maybe, you know, trying to limit your amount of niches in the shower, Eric, maybe that could lower costs.
I think that probably will happen. The people that the Richard was trying to use or quote a job, they maybe didn't feel comfortable, and I see that so many times that people don't feel comfortable using the product and just overprice the job, and they just throwing the crazy numbers that the homeowner cannot afford, and then just end up choosing going with the regular tiles instead of the large format tiles. So I think this is very important to choose the right people for the right product and for the right project. So just make, if you want to go with the large format tiles, either if it's a 6mm or 12mm, just make sure that is a fabricator or the tile guy have ever used that before, and he's feel comfortable using it. Because if he doesn't use it, he's not feeling comfortable using it, he's gonna drive the price higher just to make the homeowner change the other product to smaller version, so he doesn't lose the ability to finish up the project.
I have a good example. I just quoted a job in Atlanta, and they're using our wood, our Brover Bio, for a multifamily. It's only a 3-unit. We're working with a developer, and I gave it to 2 different fabricators. One came back with $25,000, and one came back with $11,000. And it's only 3 units. It's the kitchen and the bathroom, all the same product, no mitered edge. But I mean, you can see the difference in costs that I got, and it may be because that one fabricator is really busy and he doesn't need the work, you really don't know. So you just gotta, like Eric said, and let us know. We have a list of fabricators. Eric is our largest in the country and does most of our work in the Northeast for us. But we do have fabricators locally, spread throughout that we've trained, and we'll give you those good prices, which both of those were. But again, you can see how far apart that cost was.
And while we're on the subject of fabrication, here's another question. From a fabrication perspective, how do you actually curve the material? Is it hairline cuts in the back, or is there that much flex in the material?
There is a flex in the, yeah. I mean, there is a flex in the 6mm. So actually, you'll be able to curve certain radiuses. Not everything. I think I'm not sure right now, but I think it's in every 10 feet you can curve up to 9. I believe. Or
It's
7.
2 inches and 10 feet.
Yes, I mean we curve even more than that. I mean we've done it. We've done the curve ceiling with the large format tile, 6mm. I think was like
Nice.
8 inches overall.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, we were able to do that. So it's actually, you know, you have to test it. You know, I mean,
Right.
you just have to take every product, every different porcelain, every different color. You know, give up differently. You know, it's not. You know, whites or blacks are work differently. So you have to really take
True.
a little sample.
Yep.
You know, that's the way to do it.
Okay, and we have a couple of questions about the induction cooktops. Do you need to remove the counters to service the cooktops or warmers?
No.
No, it's all undermount, like an
Yeah, it's all
undermount
undermount.
sink.
So if they have to access it, they'll go to the back side of where the equipment side is. So no, they do not have to do anything with the countertop.
Yep,
Okay.
it's all serviced underneath, correct. And you can feel the heat. You know, someone I see asked that question, the heat show through. You
Yes.
don't see the red, but you can feel the heat. And we've only 12mm is so far the thickest that we've been able to achieve with induction cooking. We are testing our 2cm right now to see, but you know, there was a question on when do you recommend 2cm?
Yes.
That's just, you know, again, that just depends on the customer and, you know, what type of edge and the scale, the size. I think everybody probably could agree with me, you know, it depends on the scale of the space. But you can achieve, you know, a similar look. I've got a small piece here that was done, you know, a 2-inch mitered edge, and you can see how, you know, sharp it looks, how good it looks, even with that little rounded edge. But you know, you don't have to have it. Just does save on cost too if it's a larger project, and you know, they just want to buff the edge and put an 1/8 of an inch rounded top on it, then you know that will save without having to do a miter.
Also, for fabrication perspective, I mean, if you're gonna start using 2cm, that's gonna drive the fabrication cost. You know, it's much harder to cut. It takes more time to cut it. I mean, we don't see any advantage using 2cm material versus, you know, 1/2 inch.
Yeah, plus it's a lot heavier.
Like it takes more time to fabricate it. It's just and drive the cost of the fabrication even higher. So I mean, if there's no reason to use 2cm
Right.
with a 1/2 inch with a 12mm material.
I agree. That's why we only offer 12mm unless there's some need.
There's also a fabrication question here about the polished surface. So if the surface is shiny, you know, the highly polished surface, how do you finish the edge to make it look like the surface? Is there a difference between the edges and the flat surface?
It's a normal techniques as you use for quartz, for granite, for marble. You're able to polishing and achieve the high gloss polish on the edges.
Okay.
Yep. It's all done by hand, right? That part of it.
Yeah, I mean, with the same thing, you can do it with the machine, you know, with the CNC or by hand. Yes, you can polish it and achieve the same finish.
Joy, a couple of questions here about colors. What colors are available in 20mm, and is it through body porcelain?
So the 20mm made in Italy is through body, but we do not offer any colors right now unless you're ordering 200 slabs or more. So we don't have any specific. I have samples of 2 that we have done. One of our whites, and it's this pure white through, and a gray solid that we've made in the past. But again, it's for specific projects. But usually, you know, I try to let customers know that there's no need to go with 2cm you can achieve the same thing in 12 millimeter, and it's, you know, cost less. So.
And then the other question about color is about veining, really. Is the veining through full body?
Right now, that's a good question, because the two I've seen, I have not done a 2cm yet in a marble look, so I would have to ask the factory just to be sure. We just started posting on our website that, you know, we can do 2cm. It's available, but again, it's for volume 200 slabs or more. So I haven't had a need yet, so I would have to check, but you know, I can get back to that question.
Okay. And the last question I have here is about how to become a preferred fabricator. Is there a place where people can get that information?
Yes, so we're going to send out an email and let everybody know, you know, how to reach me. And if you go to our website, info@SapienStone, I get those emails and I filter them out to the correct person. And we have a technical services manager who is very experienced, had his own fabrication shop. Every 2 years, he updates our fabrication guide. He's constantly looking for, you know, the best adhesives, the best, which we have all of our own tinted dyes available as well for our product. But yes, we can easily get you a quick start fabrication training and get you on our list to give out to customers in your area that you've gone through our training. So definitely reach out and we'll get you trained.
Perfect. Well, that's all the questions that I have. Thank you, everybody, for participating. Thank you to all of our attendees. And I hope everybody learned a lot about SapienStone.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.